Hello and welcome to another Alpha Clash video here at Hobbies and Happiness. My name's Dan.
And I'm Jim. Today is the red cards in Alpha Clash tier list.
Red cards, Alpha Clash, tier list, set review. We're going over the red cards, guys. We're going over the red cards. Before we get into it, a couple of ground rules. Number one, no contenders. We already looked at the contenders in a separate video. You can check that one here. So this one is Torque the Diabolical. Torque is a very, very interesting character. We had a very good discussion, an interesting discussion about Torque, that's for sure. Yeah. So if you want to check that, go check that video up in here. And then ground rules, we've got 5 tiers for these cards. Okay, we're going to give pros, cons, and then we have got to come to a consensus on the card rating. So you've got S tier, that's the highest basically. You've got A tier, solid card, and then B. I think B is what we call like a solid card. Okay, C, situational. D, and that's just,
dog dookie.
There you go. It's a dookie. It's a dog dookie. So we're going to start off like we do in all the other videos. We're going to start off with the Clash cards. We're going to start off with Torque himself.
Real quick. Something about this color is telling me it's going to be red hot. You know what I'm saying?
Jim, did you do that on purpose?
No, I didn't.
It just fits, man. It fits, especially with this card. Like you look, I love the artwork is phenomenal, but this card especially, I love this artwork on Torque. So Torque is a 1-drop, 1 required red resource, a 2/1 Torque Earth Clash card, common rarity, and the Alpha affiliation. That's all we got for Torque. What do you think about Torque?
Beautiful card. I love this 2 attack for 1 cost. Sign me up all day. Give me an entire deck full of them, and I'll make it work.
All right, what are you rating this guy?
I gotta give him a solid B plus.
I think that's what we rated. Rated the
all the other ones.
All things considered, I mean, he's a solid A. I think he is a solid A card. So if you had to settled on one, what would you settle on? A?
Yeah, I'd for sure give him A. High A.
Yeah, high A. Okay.
B plus.
Pretty solid B plus. So that's a B plus for the 2/1 for 1 Torque. Yep. The next Torque that we've got is Torque the Uncontrollable. So Torque the Uncontrollable, another 1-drop, 1 required red resource. He's a 1/2 Torque Earth Clash card. This is an epic rarity card in the Alpha affiliation. So he has a trigger enter ability, which says deal 1 damage to your contender, which if you're running Torque the Diabolical, get to draw a card off of that. Okay, and then says when this card would be dealt non-clash damage, prevent that damage instead, and this card gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each point of damage prevented this way. If 5 or more non-clash damage is prevented from being dealt to this card in a turn, it gets breakthrough until end of turn. So, Jim, what do you think about Torque the Uncontrollable?
I kind of love this card.
Okay, all right.
Running him with the Torque contender. Deal pointed damage, and you get to then draw a card off the effect.
Yes.
So this is going to be 1 cost, or a 1/2 for 1, draw a card, and then later on, this guy can get even bigger by preventing non-clash damage. I really like this guy. He has a lot going on him for just 1 cost. But it is, if you don't have that situational of non-clash damage being dealt, then he's just a 1/2 for 1, and then pretty much draw a card if you haven't already used your contender Torque's effect. Right. So overall, I really like this card. I could see B plus to A minus range because he works a lot with the other stuff in the deck.
I was gonna settle on that B plus because again, he has a very high ceiling. Okay, but again, if you want to be targeting Torque the Uncontrollable with your non-clash damage effects, right? So if you're not running a non-clash damage package, are you running Torque the Uncontrollable? I don't know. Like I really don't think you are. Like if you're not building around buffing yourself off of this non-clash damage, then I don't think you're really running the Uncontrollable.
Yeah. And the other thing is, if you're not playing him in the Torque contender list to deal 1 point of damage to your contender, what you're not getting any value.
But on
from
turn
that.
one, that doesn't matter. On turn one, that doesn't
Yes.
matter. So like, let's say we're running this in Magnate. If we're running this in Magnate, he's now a 1/3.
Yes.
He's now a 1/3 that could potentially be getting bigger. Like again, you are going to be running that package.
Sure.
You're running that here comes the boom solar smash package of dealing this non-clash damage. So now he already gets that defensive buff.
Yeah.
But again, I don't think you're running Torque in an aggressive list.
Yeah.
I think you're mostly sitting back and then wanting to buff yourself up, which Magnate strategies don't typically lend itself to a defensive posture.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I think overall this card is good kind of like at all points in the game if you're playing the Magnate list and you're going to be utilizing the non-clash damage. You're going to have there's a specific card that might deal like 5 damage to everything on board. Who knows? We'll find out later. And
I may have said it. Who knows?
Who knows? And to be able to then get that breakthrough as well.
Yes.
Along with being what, a 6/7, right?
Oh, if you get
and then he becomes a 6/7, which is ginormous. With breakthrough.
Yeah.
So this guy can combo off, get a lot of value. At a lot of stages in the game. So I think he's a good card. I like a B+.
Well, the other thing too, though, is I think if you're sitting across the table from a Torque player and they drop Torque Uncontrollable, you're like, okay, I have to remove that card.
Yeah.
So he does command attention. So that being said, I think I could see A tier. I think I could see A tier range. So I think it's at minimum A-.
Yeah.
I really think it is.
Thinking about it, he gets you value throughout the entire game, no matter it's like where you drop him. Early game, he's going to get you value.
He's got to be respected.
And they have to take care of it.
Yeah.
And in the later stages, when you can just drop him for 1 cost and then play something else to combo off with it and get even more value, they're not going to like that.
Well, and then let's say you're running Torque the Diabolical, engage him, ping this,
make him bigger. Yeah.
It's there's a lot of stuff you can do. A lot of stuff you can do. So A-, we're gonna settle A-.
I'll go A-.
Yeah, I think we'll settle A- for Torque Uncontrollable. And then speaking of ping effects, we're gonna talk about Flare.
Hello.
Flare is a 1-drop, 1 required red resource. She's a 1/1 Flare Earth Clash card in the Alpha affiliation. This is a common rarity card. It says once per turn during your primary phase, you may engage this card. If you do, deal 1 damage to target Clash card or contender.
This card's beautiful.
It is very beautiful.
If I could get another card exactly like that, print the exact same thing, but then be like, if you play an action, restand. Something along those lines.
Well, and honestly, because the way we were having the discussion earlier, and the way I think you were talking about this earlier from a standpoint of wanting to utilize that effect again. Okay.
Yeah.
But so this card does state on it once per turn.
Yeah.
But I'm also looking at it from, let me just restand her just to put her out of harm's way.
Yeah.
Because when you're engaged, it's a 1/1. What's stopping me from swinging into killing it and then my thing is still not dead.
Yeah.
Right. So when you do that, you now put your card now in harm's way.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that's the downside of a card like Flare, but a really, really good card because it's so versatile. Target Clash card or contender. Your stuff, my stuff, doesn't really matter. You could go Torque Uncontrollable. You could go Torque your contender.
Yep.
A lot of things you could do with it. And then even if you just need that 1 extra point of damage, ping it with Flare, and my Flare is still standing. I think it's a really good card. Where are you rating it? Where are you rating it?
Oh man, where am I going to rate this thing? It's a 1 cost, synergize with a lot of stuff in your deck.
Yes.
Man,
solid B+.
And I honestly love these effects.
Yes.
I love this effect. Yeah, I think solid B+. I don't think I'd give it anything. I don't think I'd give it more.
Yeah.
Because like you're saying, it's really just like you attack something and they don't get to attack you back.
Yeah, right.
But it does synergize well with a lot of other stuff.
I just don't want it to die. Like that's the thing. It's a great effect. It's a great effect, but it's easily dealt with.
Yeah.
Very, very easily dealt with.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna go with B+ for flair. Next one we've got is Torque, redirecting damage. Love these Torque cards. So Torque redirecting damage is a 2 cost, 1 required red resource. Excuse me. He's a 1/2 Torque Earth Alpha Clash card. It's a common rarity card. It says trigger defeat, draw a card. When this card is obstructed by one or more of your opponent's clash cards, increase this card's attack power by an amount equal to the total attack power of all cards obstructing it. This is a common, Jim.
Yeah.
What do you think about Torque redirecting damage?
Wow. Even just a 1/2 for 2 with the defeat draw is just perfectly acceptable. Oh man. When this card is obstructed by one or more of your opponent's cards, increase the attack power
by the total attack power.
Yeah.
Everything that's obstructing it, it gets that attack power.
Yeah, he's at that point, how you killing this dude? You got to attack into him.
It's either that, but see that you attack into it, then now you draw a card.
Yeah,
like it's this card. I mean, I've been on the other side of the board with this card. It's like I'll eat it. I'll take the one, and then at that point, it's how much damage am I going to eat?
Yeah,
through the course of a game off of Torque redirecting damage.
Yeah.
Like I'm letting this card go, so that means turn after turn I'm eating 1 damage.
Yeah, I love this card.
I think it's a great card. I think it's a great card.
And 3 out of the 4 cards we're just now looking at, low cost, and you need to take care of them.
I know.
You need to take care of them.
Yeah.
And even the first one, that 2/1 vanilla, you still want to take care of that.
But this card I don't want to take care of it. Like I want to leave it on board because I don't want my opponent to draw, but like it presents it presents a threat.
Yeah, that's what I'm meaning. Like,
yes,
you need to somehow take care of it.
Yes.
Whether that's I now have to eat it and ignore it.
Yeah,
and I'm on a clock.
Yes,
or I allow them to draw a card.
Right.
So, and regardless, unless you're sending it to Oblivion, they're drawing the card.
Yes. Correct. So that being said, where are you rating this guy? Where you rating this guy?
Man, I gotta give him an A tier.
Yeah,
I could see A. I could even see A+. Man, can I be talked into going higher? I don't know.
I mean, we gave Torqued Uncontrollable an A-. I think we gave him an A-.
This guy's just better. But he doesn't have.
He can trade up. Like Torque can trade
100%.
up, right? And so. I honestly, I think I would give this an A. I mean, even though we gave Uncontrollable an A-, I still think this is an A.
Yeah, I think this is an A. The other one has a lot more combo play, where this is just individually, this is a great card.
Correct, I would agree.
So I think I like A.
Yeah, I'd agree. So that's Torque redirecting damage. We are giving him an A. And then the next Torque card we have is Torque Raging Force. So Torque Raging Force, a 2-drop, 1 required red resource. So he's a 2/2 Torque Earth Alpha Clash card. Is an uncommon rarity card with the ability Enrage 1. So Enraged 1 means whenever this card is dealt non-clash damage, it gets +1/+0 until end of turn for each point of non-clash damage it was just dealt.
Yeah.
So at its base, you can really only ping this for 1.
Yeah.
You can really only ping it for 1 unless you have a way, to maybe prevent that damage from happening, which we'll get into it. There are effects like that. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing to keep in mind is enraged triggers don't stack. So if there's an equipment or weapon and that equipment weapon also has enrage, you don't get it twice because you're only preventing it that one time. Right. So you're so keep that in mind. So that being said, I think this is just an okay card. I mean, Jim, what do you think?
I think it's just an okay card that you can get some value with if you just have him out with your Torque contender. Turn him into a 3/1. At 2, it's not the first time we've seen a 3/1 for 2. So he's an okay card. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would just say a B. That's about it.
Honestly, I don't even know if I'd give him a B. I mean, I just think with all the other cards that we've seen, I think there's better options. And so that being said,
Well, at that point, he's just a 2/2 for 2.
That's true.
That's why I gave him the B.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And it is with upside technically.
Yeah, it is. It is. So yeah, I could live with a B. I could live with a B for Torque Raging Force. Just nothing to get excited about.
Yeah,
nothing to get
crazy.
excited about. But yeah, I mean, so far we're just getting some pretty solid cards so far. So, and we'll see if that continues with Torque Expelling Force. So Torque Expelling Force is a 4-drop, 4 cost, 2 required red resources. He's a 2/4 Torque Earth Alpha Clash card. This is a rare card. And then he also has Enrage 1. So Enrage 1 on a 2/4 is already a little bit better, but then also has Trigger Defeat. You may deal 2 damage to target contender or clash card. So this is basically Torque Raging Force on some steroids, I think. So with that being said, what do you think about this card, Jim?
Now, I do really like that defeat. Something about dealing damage to stuff, it just really gets me.
Yes.
And overall, I think the card's just solid, and I really do like that defeat. But at that point, are you just better off having a 4/4 for 4 without that defeat?
Yeah,
a little bit.
Maybe, yeah.
But you can target your stuff to get added effects on top of it.
Right.
And the Enrage one, so
So yeah, I mean this could be a 4/2.
Yeah.
Okay. Because if you're able to ping it twice, it's now 4/2. But again, if I'm pinging something, am I gonna ping this elsewhere?
It could also be a 5/1.
A 5/1. Yes, it could be a 5/1. Like if you solar smash it for some, you could solar smash it, then it becomes a 5/1, and then so now you're swinging in for 5, and now if they block it, okay, now I have an additional 2 points of damage that I'm pointing elsewhere.
So we have anywhere from a 2/4 to a 5/1.
Yes.
With defeat, deal 2 damage to anything.
Yes.
I really like this card. At 4, I don't know if I like it at 4. Obviously, reducing the cost always makes something better.
Sure.
But this, I could kind of just see this being like, drop the defense by 1, drop the cost by 1, and I would like it then. But at 4, I don't think it's just an okay card, I think.
Okay. So that being said, where would you rate this guy? Like, I mean, based off everything we've said, I mean, B minus.
Yeah.
I think would be good. I mean, it's a decent card. Like, again, that Trigger Defeat is good, and again, it plays very well into the Torque synergies that you're really looking to build around. So that being said, like, I don't think it's a C card. No. I don't think it's in C tier. I do think it is just that low B tier.
Yeah, and playing it with the Torque, so like worst case scenario, you drop it turn 4, you engage your contender to turn him into a 3/3 for 4, and then on defeat, he deals 2 damage to something.
Right.
It's okay.
Right.
Yeah, I'll just give it I like the B minus.
Right. Because again, like with a 2/4 body, I would be looking to utilize that on defense. Okay. Yeah. But then at that point, that enraged trigger isn't doing anything for me on defense.
Yeah.
Like, I'd want to be aggressive with that. So I just think it's a weirdly statted. I think it's a weirdly statted card in all honesty. So are we landing on that B minus tier for Torque?
Yeah,
what do you think?
I like B minus, and in Enrage, it kind of just seems like I know it's not exactly prowess like from Magic, where if you cast an instant or sorcery, then you give +1/+1. It's kind of just a worse form of that.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah,
because not only are you now having to target your cards with whatever ones you're playing for that, I'll just say B minus. That's all we're gonna say.
So Torque Expelling Energy, we're gonna give him that B minus. And then the next card that we have is another 4-drop. This is Machina. So Machina is a 4 cost, 1 required red resources. He's a 5/3 Machina Earth Alpha Clash card, uncommon card. That's pretty much it. It's a vanilla 4 cost, Vanilla 5/3 for 4. Jim, what do you think, man?
He dies the bolt.
He dies the bolt. Yes.
Yeah, he's just an okay card with going more stats into the attack, which overall I like. So, I mean, we look at him in terms of he's a 4-cost, deal 5 damage.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just think he's a solid card.
I think this. Yeah, I'd agree.
I'd just say solid B.
I would agree. Yeah, I don't think he's higher than a B. I don't think he's B plus.
Yeah.
You're getting the same amount of stats. It's just skewed a little bit more towards the attack. So yeah, I think Machina is a solid B. So that's Machina, a solid B. All right, the next card that we have is a Torque Energy Overflowing. So Torque Energy Overflowing is a 5-cost, 2 required red resources. He's a 4/5 Torque Earth Alpha Clash card. This is a rare card. He has a trigger attack ability, which says deal 1 damage to your contender. And then also says when this card is obstructed by 1 or more of your opponent's clash cards, deal 1 damage to each clash card obstructing it. So Jim, what do you think about Torque Energy Overflowing?
You know, that attack draw a card is pretty nice once per turn.
if you haven't utilized that already.
Yeah, if you haven't utilized it already.
Yep.
The obstructing part is nice to where it's like if they're trying to just block you with low cost things and they just have that 1 toughness, they're just going to instantly die. And not even deal their damage.
Right.
And it's yeah, because would that damage go off before the combat damage, essentially?
So, well, if we read the card, it says when this card is obstructed by 1 or more of your opponent's clash cards, deal 1 damage to each clash card obstructing it. So, yes. Yep, because in the clash step, your first step is you're choosing your target, your target clash card to attack with, and then next is the obstruct step. So once they declare their obstructors, that is when this trigger would go off.
Okay.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So at that point, it's all right there,
and that is non-clash damage as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that is going to persist for the remainder of the turn.
Yes.
Okay. So that is good to know.
Yep.
Okay.
So he's a 4/5 for 5. Nothing wows me too much about him. Yeah, it's just, okay, if you're not obstructing me, I'm only getting in for the 4 damage.
Right.
And then you're going to eat 1 point of damage, maybe draw a card if you haven't already utilized it. So, yeah, he just seems basic to me. I really wouldn't put him higher than a B plus, but I would just say around a B plus.
Yeah, I don't even know if I'd go as high as a B plus. I'd probably stay right at the B. I mean, I guess I could see B plus if we're reading this as trigger attack draw card.
Yeah.
If you're running this not in Torque, it's a bad card.
Yeah.
Oh well, I shouldn't say a bad card. Yeah. Because then at that point, why are you dealing yourself the damage?
Yeah.
Right.
It's just other stuff you could do.
Exactly. So that being said, you're only running this in Torque, right?
Yep.
So I think this is good in Torque. When you care about non-clash damage, then yes, I think this is good. Do I think? I mean, I think it's definitely a B plus inside of Torque when you're drawing that. Yeah. Right. And so this is also, your opponent is not incentivized to block it because they're going to be getting that damage. Yeah. Okay. And so if you're not able to kill it with this Torque Energy Overflowing, maybe you have some other non-clash damage effects that can take care of those other cards. Yeah. So all that being said, I think I could land on a B plus for Torque Energy Overflowing.
I'm now going for just a B because it is understated. If you're if it's not getting blocked, then you're missing out on that 1 damage to pretty much be a 5/5 for 5. Right. And so at that point, it is worse than, and sometimes you're not going to be able to draw that card on this attack. So I'm just going to give it a B.
Okay. I think I could live with that. I think I could live with that because again, we're having to come up with these instances when these effects are going to happen. Yeah. And so all that being said, I think settling on a B is probably the right call for torque energy overflowing. So we're going to move on to the next one, which is Flare Solar Force. It's got another Flare card. She's a 5-drop, 3 required red resources. She's a 5/5 Flare Earth Clash card, Alpha affiliation. She's an uncommon rarity card with Flight. So 5 cost for 5/5 for 5 with Flight. 3 required red. What do you think? What do you see?
Very instantly well statted.
Yes.
And with upside with that Flight.
Yes.
It's easy basic card. I'm gonna give it a B+.
I'd agree. 100% I'd agree. I mean, there's pretty much nothing else to say. Love the artwork. Anytime
I love Flare.
Anytime you have Flight is very good. So I mean, it's a perfect amount of stats. I think this is a very, very good card.
Yep.
So I think B+ is right where it's at for Flare Solar Force. Speaking of Flare, we've got the next Flare card. She's Flare Explosive Combatant. She's a 6 cost, 3 required red resources. She's a 6/6 Flare Earth Alpha Clash card in the epic rarity. Also with Flight, so a 6/6 for 6 with Flight. But also trigger attack, deal 2 damage to all other class cards. No,
so much better.
Trigger attack, Jim.
Yep. Yeah, that card's
Trigger attack, deal 2 damage to all other clash cards. You most likely don't care if you're playing this, because most likely you are benefiting off of this.
Yeah.
And so the fact that it's 2 damage is perfect based off of all the other clash cards that we've seen. It will most likely survive it. There's a couple, like Raging Force will die. Raging Force dies, but I think everything else will survive it. I think I'd have to double check. At least the ones with the Enrage trigger.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
If they have Enrage.
Yeah.
That being said, Jim, what do you think about this card?
So instantly a 6/6 for 6 Flight card is great. Pretty much just going off of the last Flare we saw.
Yes.
But now you get attack, deal 2 damage to all other clash cards. How many of your opponent's ones are you going to be able to kill with that effect?
A lot.
A good amount.
I mean, a good amount. But even if you're not, killing them,
value on your side.
You're not. But if you're not killing them, they have that 2 damage marked on them until the end of the turn.
Yep. True.
Yes, yours does too, but you're buffing.
Yeah.
Most likely you're getting a buff.
Yeah.
So you don't really care that much.
Yeah. This card's amazing. And you know, the thing about Flare, after seeing these cards, I want there to be a Flare contender now. Give me the Flare contender. Next set, we're gonna hopefully.
Let's see it, Ridge. Let's see it. Let's see it. We want Flare.
You know, they got to get the discarded out there. They got to get the harbingers out there.
Yep,
you know, it might be a little bit.
There's a lot. Yeah.
So, but I would love to see a Flare contender. You know, make it to where non-clash damage +2.
Ooh.
Make it happen.
Make it happen. Make it happen. All right.
But this card, phenomenal. Easy A+ card. Man, am I about to give this thing an S tier rating?
I'm 100% A+.
Am I
100% A+. 100% A+. Does it get to S tier?
6/6 flyer, deal 2 to the board. Dan, I think we give it S tier.
Dude, I think we do, man.
This card's phenomenal.
I mean, at minimum, honestly, it's S-.
Yeah.
I think minimum S-.
Yeah. Minimum S-? Oh, for S tier?
Minimum.
Okay.
Yeah, the lowest.
Gotcha.
The lowest, I think it's S tier.
Okay.
I mean, it's definite A+, 100%. Easy. That's no question.
Yeah.
No question A+.
Okay. So then A+ is minimum. Otherwise, you'd be saying 100% A or S-.
Well,
right?
Okay. Well, here's the way that I'm looking at it. Okay. Is if I'm trying to say does it get to S tier, it easily gets it. It's an obvious A+, no question.
Yeah.
Like there's no question. It's at least A+.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it at least does get into S-.
Yeah.
Does it get? I don't know if it gets higher than S-, but for sure, I think S-.
Yeah. This is 100%
this is
somewhere
very,
in
very
S.
good. Yes.
Yeah, I don't think it's like stupidly crazy S plus. I don't even know exactly what it would take for it to be S tier, middle S. Yeah, I like S minus.
Yeah.
This is 100% an S though.
It's in S tier.
Somewhere S.
It's in S tier.
Or even A plus. This card's phenomenal.
Yeah, I think even with the 3 required red, that's not I don't think that doesn't matter.
Don't matter.
I think S minus. I would probably sit at S minus for this.
All right.
I think.
S tier
so that's
card.
S tier.
minus
Flare, Explosive Combatant. Great card.
Beautiful.
Love this card.
Beautiful.
The next card. This is kind of interesting, guys. Okay.
Okay.
This is Machina, Unstoppable Force. Okay. I'm interested to know what Jim thinks of this. Okay. So Machina is a 7 drop. So 7 cost, 4 required red resources. He's a 6/6 Machina Earth Alpha Clash card. This is an epic rarity card. And then he has Barrage 2. So this is an interesting ability. It means when this card attacks, you may deal damage equal to its initial attack power, divided as you choose among up to 2 target clash cards. So he's a 6/6. So what that means is he can deal 6 damage divided between up to 2 target clash cards. So you could deal 2 clash cards 3 damage apiece, or you could deal 1 clash card 6 damage before getting to the actual clash.
Okay.
So what do you think? What do you think of this card?
Now, all right, when we were looking at Flare, I was like, what would take it to be an S card, S plus card? I think I found it.
Oh, really?
I love this card.
Okay.
Now, it's 7 costs, right?
Yes.
But like you're saying, you're dealing 6 damage spread out between 2 targets, however you want to set it up.
Yes.
And it can even be, 6 and 0? Correct?
Well, you could say 1. You could deal 6 to 1.
Yeah.
Correct. Or you could deal 4 to 1 and 2 to another one.
Yes.
Yes, however you want to divvy it up.
This
and
card,
it says it's up to 2.
This card could essentially kill 3 targets with 1 attack.
Yes.
And still be alive. This card is dumb good.
Yeah.
I'm no lower than S minus, I don't think.
I thought at least A plus.
Yeah.
I mean at least A plus. It's the only downside, it doesn't have flight.
It doesn't have flight.
Right.
I don't care.
I know, dude. At this point, it's like
because you're able to send 6 to the flying creature anyway.
Well, again, exactly. I think you're using this as removal.
Yeah, 100%.
I think you're not going face with this. This is just straight up removal. Dude,
even if you do go face, you're like, you have 2 cards out, they're dead anyway. Boom, boom, you're dead. Eat 6 face. Now you might be dead.
Yeah,
who knows?
Yeah.
This guy changes the game so fast. This is 12 damage coming in.
Yeah.
However you want it.
Well,
essentially. Half of it, however you want.
Okay, yes. Because that's very conditional. Like that's conditional. But I think in a game where the majority of the action is going to happen among the clash cards, it doesn't matter. Like it's going to be there.
Yeah.
So
this card is, the crazy part is he's so basic, yet so crazy cool.
Yes. When I first saw this card, I'm like, I didn't know what Barrage was, so I'm reading it. I'm like, wait. Huh?
Yeah. Also,
this is pretty crazy.
It says initial attack power is
6.
Okay.
So if you're able to, if you put a weapon on it or something, if you're able to buff that power, it's only that 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
I mean, that basically should say printed. Yeah. Like printed attack power is basically what that would read.
Yeah. So I love this card.
Yeah. So all right. So where are we landing on a rating for this? Are we staying right at S?
S tier.
Yeah. I don't think I can go lower than an S. I think the power level contained in Machina. He's an unstoppable force, guys. I mean, what more is there to say? So that's Machina, unstoppable force. We're giving that S tier.
Yep.
All right, now we are moving on to the actions, and again, like we started off with all the other ones. With the other ones, we're starting with the best one, the Clash buff. So the Clash buff for red is Energy Explosion. Energy Explosion is a 0 cost Clash buff action. It says you may only play this card if your contender is red. Target contender or Clash card you control gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Then you may draw 1 card. So just a phenomenal card, no downside. Jim had just made a comment to me, and I had just read this as well. But this is a little bit different than some of the other ones. Jimbo, what would you notice here?
Yeah, so this one does specifically state contender is red. I believe for the green one, it does say green alpha.
Yeah, green alpha
contender.
So again, just something to keep in mind, and that's mostly going to be more towards future sets when we see other contenders. So when you're looking at that, just pay attention as to what Clash buffs are going to be available to you at your disposal. So again, there are going to be 4 Clash buffs in your deck. You're going to be running 4 Clash buffs.
And they could even errata that later of being like, all right, just don't even pay attention to that part. It's specific color.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So Energy Explosion, easy S, just like all the other Clash buffs. Yep. And then the next action that we've got is Piercing Strike. Piercing Strike is a 1 cost quick action, 1 required red resource. This is an uncommon card. Pretty easy. It says counterattack, deal 2 damage to target attacking Clash card. Jim, what do you think about Piercing Strike?
I am a big fan of this card, Dan.
Yes.
I don't know if you know that.
Yes, I like this card as well. Yes.
It's a very basic card. Your opponent attacks you, you deal 2 damage to it. I don't know exactly where I put this. Probably around A tier. It's a 1 cost. It's quick action. I like it.
I think I'd agree. I mean, it's not a trap, so it's not susceptible to those types of removal effects, right? It's always in your hand. And for that 1 cost, dealing 2, it's non-clash damage, so it's going to persist through the remainder of the turn. But again, is that going to matter? It really all depends on what other cards that we're going to see in the future that are these quick action effects.
Yep.
So that being said, I think a solid A is probably the correct choice for a Piercing Strike. So the next one is pretty interesting. This is Affliction. So Affliction is a 1 cost basic action. So 1 required red resource. It is a common rarity card. It says target contender or Clash card you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Then deal 1 damage to your contender. Jim, what do you think about Affliction?
Man, I wish this card was quick action so badly.
Yes.
To be able to reactively, essentially having another Clash buff for your contender of increasing the defense a little bit.
Yeah.
Which can be ginormous.
Yes.
So I really like this card. Man,
even though it's a basic action,
I still like it because it's most likely still going to draw you a card when you deal a point of damage to your contender.
Yes.
So you can also look at it of +1/+1 and draw a card for 1 cost.
Okay.
I personally still like it. But that's aside from
and then think about too, if we are targeting like our torque uncontrollables or our other torques with those enraged triggers, it's giving that an additional point of defense that we can ping it with to then buff it even more.
Yep. Yeah.
So there's some pretty good targets in red, I think, for a card like Affliction.
Yeah.
So that being said, how would you rate this card?
Okay. So in torque, I think it's A.
Okay.
In torque, I think A. Outside of torque, I think it's an okay card. 1 cost, increase your other thing by 1/1. B. So I could see anywhere from high B, low A.
I was gonna say it's a solid B. So I think I could probably go up to a B plus just because of the things you could do inside of a torque build.
Yeah.
So that being said, I think I'd settle on a B plus. Do you agree?
Yeah. I think
so we'll go with a B plus for Affliction. And then that being said, we're going to move on to Solar Smash. Solar Smash, Pretty basic card. I think it's a pretty good card, though. So Solar Smash, a 2 cost, 1 required red resource. A basic action, rare card, says deal 3 damage to target contender or clash card. I think there's going to be plenty of times where that 3 damage just puts you over the top that you need to finish out a game, finish out a clash card. So, I mean, what do you think of a card like Solar Smash, Jim?
Come on, Dan. What are you really asking me here?
Do you like Lightning Bolt? Is basically what I'm asking, even though this is not Lightning Bolt.
I love this card. It's a slow lightning strike.
Yes.
It's a slow version.
Yeah.
But I still love this effect. It's still good. 3 damage to go face or to a clash card. And that does last throughout the entire turn. It's not just for that individual instance. Yeah, I love this card.
And I think this card too is you're not running this just in red. Like I think this card is gonna go in pretty much any deck.
Yeah.
You're splashing red just to run Solar Smash.
Yeah.
So
especially an aggro list, I could see it.
Yes, yeah. So that being said, I mean, I would put an A+ on this card.
You know, who would have thought Lightning Bolt gets A+ around here? I'm down.
I really think it deserves an A+ because it's an extremely versatile card. It's going to go in a lot of different kinds of decks. This card is never bad. Like it's
great
never
early,
bad.
Great end game.
Yeah, it's a very, very solid card. So now we're going to move on to the next one. It is Energy Absorption. Energy Absorption is a 2 cost, 1 required red resource. It is a basic action. It is an uncommon rarity card. It says choose target clash card until end of turn when that card will be dealt non-clash damage. Prevent that damage instead, and that card gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each point of damage prevented this way. The only thing that I would say about this card is I wish it was a quick action. That's it.
Yeah.
That being said, it's still a solid card. But if you could use this defensively, it just gets that much better. But I mean, again, that's kind of obvious.
So right now it's just a combo piece.
It's right. It's a combo piece that saves the rest of your stuff from other effects. Now, basically, I mean, essentially, I think what this is, it's the torque effect on any card that you want. That's pretty much what it is. Like it's torque uncontrollable on all of your other stuff.
Yeah.
So is there anything else that you see here? What do you think about this card, Jim?
You know, it is kind of funny you say that because Torque the Uncontrollable apparently learned how to control it and give it to other people.
And make it a shield.
So, and other people can utilize it now. So,
yes,
character development.
Yeah. Nice. Good job, Torque.
Yeah.
Well done. So, with that being said, where are you going to rate this card? Where are you going to rate this one?
Oh, man. You know, it's kind of weird because you could see this being like a weapon that instantly can come in and attach to something. And when it would take the damage, you then get rid of it to give the +1/+1. It kind of looks like it could be an equipment or a weapon, right?
You're talking about the artwork?
Yes.
Mostly? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And
all right.
But it is, man, it's until end of turn that it just gets this.
I know. Like it's just a combo piece.
Yeah, it's just a combo piece.
It's really just a combo piece.
Are you saying it's situational?
Pretty much. Yeah. I mean, kind of.
Yeah, there's no way I'm giving it higher than a C.
Yeah.
Although it's good when you can utilize it, but again, it's C+ because it's good when you can really utilize it.
Right. This card is not good at any point during the game. It's really not. Like you really,
yeah.
Because now it's like I need 2 more resources to protect one thing.
Yeah.
Because it's only target. Yeah, it's target. So if you have, I don't know. Do you think higher than a C-?
Higher than a C-? I was gonna give it. Yeah. It's rough.
That's what I'm saying. Like you have to pair this up with something, and I don't know, man.
Yeah, I said C+ because I'm like you can make some really crazy plays with it, but that you need to have that combo piece for it.
Correct.
Yeah, and I was more so saving C- for if it was situational, but it's so rare and it's not that great.
Okay.
To where I can see this can be really good.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it's a straight C.
We'll get
that being
C.
said, I think straight C.
Straight
C for energy absorption. Then we're going to move from that. We will move to Deflect. Yay. Deflect is a 3-cost, 1 required red resource for a common quick action. And it states counterattack. Prevent all clash damage that would be dealt during this clash. Then deal 2 damage to target contender.
Huh.
What do you think about Deflect? About this, especially in red with a contender like Torque who actively cares about clash damage.
Or you can shock face.
Yes.
I like this card.
Yes.
It's not a trap, so your opponent won't know that it's coming.
Right, but it's 3.
Yeah, it is a 3 cost.
Yes.
Still prevent clash damage. What was that? What was that 2 cost one that we saw in blue?
Lefty's Last Stand.
Yeah. I guess it's kind of like that. It is 1 cost, but you are getting the 2 damage, so you can either utilize it to just go face utilize it to get off a synergy with your contender.
Yeah, because this is only to target contender. So it's you're either sending this to your opponent contender or to yours, which at that point it's like, do I want to draw a card but I'm paying 2 life for it? Yeah. Or do I just want to get in for that ping damage to my opponent?
Yeah. So I like this card, a good amount.
Okay.
I'm not going to put it in A tier. I don't think it's an A tier card.
Yeah.
I like a B plus because I personally love burn damage. To who would have thought? Right. And you're utilizing it to either synergize with your deck or just to bring your opponent closer to death, and you're preventing a clash damage or whatever clash attack.
So you think that's worth it for 3? Did you say B plus?
I was saying B plus because I really like the burn. I could say B. I could see B.
Yeah, I think for that cost, I think B is probably correct.
Yeah.
For that cost.
Yeah.
I mean, if this was 1 or 2, okay, that's a lot better.
So in comparison to the lefties, that's a 2 cost.
Yeah, it's 2 cost.
So for 1 extra cost, you are getting to deal 2 damage to target contender.
True. Which you're actively looking to do in this kind of strategy, a more aggressive strategy. So,
which is also why I gave it the B plus, because it's not, that cost does make a big difference between the lefties and Deflect. But I also think for 1 extra cost to deal 2 damage, whether to benefit you on your board or to bring your opponent closer to death.
Or to draw a card.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. I can go with B plus. We'll go with B plus for Deflect, and then the last one we've got is the creme de la creme. It's Here Come the Boom. Here comes the boom. 4-drop, 4 cost, 2 required red resources. It's a basic action. It is an epic card. Pretty simple. Deal 5 damage to all clash cards.
Yep.
Jim, I mean, this is kind of conditional removal, but Jim, what do you think of a card like Here Comes the Boom, man?
This card is phenomenal.
Yep.
I mean, although we do have so many other board wipes in this game, so it's.
I was wondering what you were gonna say when you said that. I'm like, hang on.
Yeah, I mean, we have so much other board wipes in this game in every single color.
Yep.
And this card's really good. And it's at that. I think it's at a perfect mana cost.
I agree.
At if you got this at 5, whatever.
Yeah.
But 4 to deal 5 to everything, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
A 4-cost board wipe, I think, is the best time you can be casting.
I agree.
So,
especially in a game like this, I really do think 4 is the perfect spot for a card like this. Now, it doesn't kill everything, right? Because there are points where, my stuff has 6 toughness. If I have Kagan and I'm running Magnate, hey, he actually lives, right? But if that's all I have on the board, my opponent is if my opponent's running Here Comes the Boom, he probably has other things that he's taking advantage of that non-clash damage. So I'm probably in a bad spot. Yeah. So I've been in many games where my opponent's running red. He drops his 4th resource. Is it Here Comes the Boom? Is it? No, it's thank goodness. Because I can't survive that.
You know what stuff I think would be really cheeky? If you're playing Torque the Uncontrollable, or sorry, if you're playing red, your opponent is also playing red, and you know that they have the Here Comes the Boom, but you're not playing it, you're doing some other stuff, and you just having that Torque Uncontrollable in the board, you're like, yeah, let's play Here Comes the Boom now.
Yeah.
Good luck killing that.
Yeah.
And now what are you gonna do? Attack me? No.
Right.
No, you're not.
Right.
So yeah, just some random cheeky stuff.
Right.
I love this card.
Yeah. All right. What are you rating it?
Man, I honestly almost said S.
Dude, it's S tier to me.
I almost said
giving it
S.
S.
I don't think I would give it an A. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Would I give it an A for any reason? I don't think so. It has to be S.
And the thing is too, it's like I'm not giving it S because it's the quote only board wipe in the game.
Yeah.
It's just it has the potential to deal so much damage, and it's not destroy. Like it's straight up damage, and I think this is better than a board wipe.
Yeah.
Like because there are cards that actively care about non-clash damage and can benefit from that. I think this is just so much better.
Yeah.
Now in the mirror match. Okay, yes, this has the potential to not necessarily be a dead card, but provide more value to your opponent.
Although I would still love to see Send to Oblivion, because then it's not being defeated at all.
Will we see that? I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will see that eventually at some point. Yeah. But I just think this is such a solid card.
This card's great.
Great card. To me, I think it's an easy S.
So far, going through the colors that we've gone through, is red have the most S tiers?
I think so.
Wow.
I'd have to look. I have to sit down.
All right, guys, red's best color.
Yeah. So that's Here Comes the Boom, and that's all that we got. Some really, really good action, some pretty powerful actions in the color red. So now we're gonna move on to the accessories and clash grounds for red. All right, first we're going to talk about the accessories, and the first one we have is Solar Flare. So Solar Flare is a 1-cost trap accessory. It's a common rarity card, 1 required resource, and it says counterattack. Send target attacking clash card with an attack power of 2 or less to Oblivion. Jim, what do you think about Solar Flare?
Love the card. 1 cost, get rid of a 2 cost. Great card. I think I would give it...
That's not what it says.
What's up?
Attack power of 2 or less, not cost.
Oh, cost. Okay. Relatively the same thing. No, it's not. Wait a minute. This could potentially be better, because I was just thinking about the Mean Streak card that was like 4 or 5 cost and it had 2 attack with. Okay, wow.
Yeah, so it's
attack
send
power.
target attacking clash card with attack power 2 or less.
Okay.
And this is not initial attack power. This is what it has at the time of the clash, essentially.
Oh, then there are other cards to reduce it, and then
But you bring up a good point.
Yeah.
Okay. So when it comes to during the counter attack step, you are able to play as many counter attacks as you can. So if you're able to, let's say your opponent has a 5 attack card, okay, 5 attack clash card, attack power clash card, excuse me, and then you're able to. There was that clash that I think it was a trap or a quick action, which gave it -3/-3. So you could resolve that and then play Solar Flare, and then that would deal with it. So you're able to play as many counterattacks as you're able to pay for during that counterattack step. Okay. So that being said, I mean, basically what you just said, correct.
Okay.
I think this definitely is better.
Yeah.
Better than what you initially thought.
Yeah, so there's a lot of ways that you can play with this card, and overall I like it. It's a basic. It can be a 1-for-1, and sometimes you can make it a 2-for-1 against yourself.
Yes.
But you're getting rid of a lot.
If we like we just said, if you're comboing that up with another card, right? But at that point, it's like, is it worth it? It could very well be, especially depending upon how many resources you're putting into it. Right.
Yeah.
So
I like it.
Power level wise, where are you rating this card?
It is semi-versatile with comboing with other stuff, but I don't think I'd give it more than it's not an A tier. I see it B somewhere. I'll just say a solid B card.
I was going to say solid B as well.
Yeah.
I mean, especially, again, thinking about the rules and how you can actually utilize it. You can play more than one counterattacks.
Yep.
Okay, so I think solid B is correct for Solar Flare. The next one that we have is Energy Shield. Energy Shield, a 1-drop weapon accessory. It's an uncommon card, 1 required red resource. This has an attached cost of 1 red resource. And then it says attached clash card gets +0, +0, +1, and enrage 1. So it's got that, so you're able to put this enrage effect on any card and give that defensive buff of 1 to its butt. So that being said, so what do you think of a card like Energy Shield?
So usually when you have the enrage, it is nice to be that higher defense. So I like that it is giving that. The cost for the attach is low, but you're just getting, if you don't have anything to pair up with that to get the enrage trigger, then you're not doing anything for yourself offensively. I'm not the biggest fan of this card. I honestly would put this pretty low.
Okay.
Rest itself.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this only goes in torque builds, only goes in red builds, which you're already like. Again, this is basically your torque effects. You're able to put this on other cards that are not torque, that already have that same effect.
Yeah.
So at that point, it's like, okay, you have to look at the opportunity cost. Like, what am I giving up to have this in my deck? And honestly, I feel like I'd probably have other cards in my deck.
Yeah.
So that being said.
This ain't a B tier card.
It's
dude.
not a B tier.
Is this a situational card?
Yes,
Kinda.
Yeah, you really have to be building around it.
Yeah.
Like it's not a terrible card,
But the thing is, building around it, it's not like it's gonna win you the game, most likely.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not great.
Yeah,
because
again, this is not an instead trigger. Like it still eats the damage.
Yeah.
It eats the damage. It just gives you the buff. So
best case scenario, C-.
Yeah.
Do we want to give it Dookie?
I don't think it's D.
Yeah.
I think C- is correct.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that's C- for Energy Shield. And then we're gonna go from Energy Shield to Energy Blast. This is Energy Blast, a 1 cost, 1 required red resource. It is a trap accessory. It's an uncommon rare card. It says counterplay. You may activate this trap if the clash card being played has an initial resource cost of 3 or less. When that card enters play, deal 2 damage to that card. What do you think about Energy Blast?
I kind of hate it.
You hate it, huh? So 1 cost, deal 2 damage to a card if it costs 3 or less on enter. So you're not getting around any you're not getting around any ETB effects.
Yeah. Yeah, it's situational. The card has to be entering. It has to be 3 or less.
Well, I mean, you're activating in response to somebody playing a card.
Yeah.
So,
but that's the thing. It's like,
I mean, that's a situation. Again, that's a situation that's always happening. The situation there is it's 3 or less.
yeah. Well, and that's the part that it's entering. If it's just 3 or less, deal 2 damage to a card for 1 cost.
Yeah. So it's not shock. Yeah.
Yes.
This is not shock. This is. Yeah. This is not shock. This is I shock you upon you.
This is
entering.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Right.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, and it's weird because like this is a card that you normally don't see on a trap. Like you would see this on a spell.
Yes.
Like it's a spell card, but now it's slower because you have to set it.
Yeah.
But again, in a game like this, does that really matter? Not so much, because again, now you're just playing on your opponent's turn, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it does get rid of 3 costs. Well, no, sorry, it doesn't get rid of 3 costs or less. It targets 3 costs or less.
But here's the thing. I kind of like this better than a basic action, because now your opponent is spending the resources on their turn, thinking they're going to be able to swing in with the card.
Yeah.
And then, okay, it's kind of a tempo swing at that point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The part that I just hate is that the card has to be entering when you play this card. It's not just you can get rid of or deal 2 damage to something that's already out on the board that's 3 or less.
I don't get why are you hung up on that though?
Because
that's
if the card is already out on the board and you're drawing into this, you're not going to be able to utilize it for anything that's already out on the board.
Yes,
that's the part
so at that point you set the trap, you put it in front of you, and then you just wait until the opportune moment to see what's coming on in play, and then I won't deal with that. I won't deal with that. Okay, here's something I can deal with. All right, I'll deal with it at that point.
Yes.
But that's better to me. I don't know. I'm confused. Yes, it's more reactive, sure, but I just don't see how that's worse though. That's what I'm kind of,
because it has to be played. It can't just already be out on the board.
Right. I get that. Right. It is now more reactive. You're reacting than being proactive. Right. So you're reacting to what your opponent is bringing onto the board. Okay. We've established that. Yes. Correct. That just does. I don't think that automatically makes it worse. It's just different.
Well, it does automatically make it worse.
How so?
Because if you now can only be, if you can't target anything that was previously on the board, because now if you draw into this on turn 3, 4, well, all of that other stuff that's already there, you can't target it. You now have to wait for them to play another thing. So the later on the game goes, this is now far worse.
Well, yes, true, but
far worse.
Hang on. You're bringing in other variables here. I thought you were specifically talking about, yes, obviously the moment we get higher costed stuff, higher costed stuff, yes, it's worse. Correct. I get that. Right. I'm there. I'm with you. Mm-hmm. I just don't think because of its reactive, that automatically makes it worse. That's where I'm just like, I'm not sure. I follow everything else.
The only part is it has to be played while you have this out. It's not like I'm playing this, I target one of your things that are 3 or less and deal 2 damage to it.
Right.
It's instantly worse that they have to play the card, and that's the card that you target.
But again, if they play 3 cards, like let's say I have this out in front of me as a trap card, okay? Mm-hmm. They play card 1.
Yes.
I don't want to target. I don't have to.
Yes.
Then I do the next one. I don't have to target that one either. Mm-hmm. Like if there's already 2 cards on board, I can't target them. But if I have a basic action in hand, those cards that are coming out, I can't deal with those.
Oh, okay. All right. My bad. I was still thinking for quick actions, not basic actions. I get what you're saying.
Okay. Yeah, I'm talking about a basic
actions.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
I got
sure.
you. Then
sure.
Yes, there's
Correct.
Pretty much
because
no
again,
difference.
Right. Because again, with this, we're looking at it from a count. Yes, it's a counterplay. If currently there's no other quick action. Oh wait, Piercing Strike. Piercing Strike was a quick action. There we go. That was the other one that I was thinking of. Do we have that one? I don't have that one open right now. But yeah, the quick action. Yes, I was evaluating it from a basic action. Which is what I thought that was what the argument that you were trying to make.
Okay. Yeah. No. Since it was a counterplay, it's instant speed.
True. Yes.
So that's where I was going. I'm like, yeah, but it's.
But the other thing too is even if it's a quick action, is it counterplay or is it counterattack? Because at that point, you have to look at, okay, if it's counterattack, well, they've already attacked. They now have already gotten off their trigger attack. Mm-hmm. So then it's instantly worse.
Yeah.
Right. Counterplay is better because they're not able to get off that.
Yeah.
That trigger attack.
I mean, couldn't it also say if they play something or if they're attacking with, you can target?
No. No, because within the rule set they have their trigger tags of this is when you're only going to be able to when you play quick when you're playing at instant speed, you are following along with the trigger tags, which there's only certain points when you're able to play a trigger tag, which there's trigger enter. There's like 6 different trigger tags. Okay. Yeah. So what was the scenario that you were thinking about?
I was thinking if a card has like, it could be trigger play or trigger attack right on the trap or quick action.
It would be a counter. It would not be. It would be if you're the defender.
Oh yeah, sorry.
It would be a counter.
Yeah, it would say counter.
Their trigger, their attack trigger would go off and resolve first.
Yes, yeah, and I was more so meaning our card would state that, but it would say counter play, counter whatever the counters are.
Everything in the game right now, it's gonna go. It's
counter attack.
That's going to resolve after a trigger attack.
I know. I'm more so just saying after trigger. And this is, again, all before damage is happening. So I'm saying if you have this card where it's quick action and it says counter play, counter attack, whatever one it is, you could then utilize it to target anything rather than just the attacking card or the card that was just played. Is there anything along those lines?
We've looked at all the cards. No,
I didn't. I'm just saying, I didn't remember.
There's not. No. No.
So, all right. So then,
at this point,
I'm just not a big fan
at
of
this
point.
Card. At this point, we're making up cards that we want to see. Essentially.
Yeah. It's just. I guess I'm bringing too much of Magic into how I'm viewing this card.
And that's the thing. You got to stop. And because I did that too.
Right. But regardless, I still don't like this card.
Sure. No, that's fair. But again, I think within the context of the game that this card exists, there's a use case for it.
Sure.
There is a use case for it. Is the use case that big? I don't know. But in all honesty, I think the use case is against aggressive Magnate decks with those 1/2s, those 2/1s. Yeah. That's really it, and I think this is supposed to counter that. I think. I think so. Again, we're splitting hairs trying to come up with where is this going to be good, right? And so when you do that, it's not a card that it alone is powerful.
Yeah. Where are you putting this card?
Where am I putting this card? I mean, it's a solid C. It's a solid C. It's not higher than a C. I don't think
so.
I don't think. Because again, when you may activate this trap if the clash card being played has an initial resource cost of 3 or less. When that card enters play, there's so many conditions to this.
Dan, get this card out of my face. This is a C card.
There's so many conditions to this. But I think the exercise that we went through is good to do and important to do, especially when you're evaluating, because you have to understand how all the effects work. So that being said, I don't think it's higher than a C. Yeah. So this next one, here we go. Kind of like the effect we were just looking for. Metal Barrage, 2 cost, 1 required red resource. It is an accessory trap, uncommon rarity card. It says counterattack. Deal 2 damage to target attacking clash card. If that clash card is defeated by this effect, deal 2 damage to target contender. Now, that conversation we just had, you are looking for something that states, like but doesn't necessarily say target attacking, just any target.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a while till we get something like that, but who knows?
Yeah. I definitely, I mean, I see it being possible.
I agree. So. I 100% agree. 100% agree. But that being said, 2 cost, dealing 2 damage, and potentially dealing 2 more damage to a contender. What do you think about Metal Barrage?
I like this card.
And it is a trap. This is a trap. Yeah. This is not a quick action.
Yeah. Okay. I like this card.
Okay.
Being able to essentially kill something and then be able to deal damage face. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And again, going off of clash damage and non-clash damage, non-clash damage just so It is very impactful.
Yeah.
You know, so much more impactful, especially in a game like Alpha Clash, where this is the only type of damage that 6th round persists for the entirety of the turn. I think Metal Barrage is a solid card, even at two costs. So that being said, where are you gonna put? We're gonna rate this card.
Oh man, I like it, but I just think it's a solid card.
I agree.
I don't think I would even put it into B+, because face damage is nice, but the only one that matters is that last one. So yeah, I would just give it a solid card.
I'd agree. I think B is the correct. I think B is correct for this card.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna move on. We're gonna finish up with the Clash cards. Clash grounds.
Yes.
The first one is Antarctica. Antarctica is a 2-cost, 1 required red resource. It is Antarctica Earth Clash ground. This is a common rarity card. All right, trigger enter. Deal 1 damage to all Alpha Clash cards. At the start of each player's turn, deal 1 damage to all Alpha Clash cards. What do you think about Antarctica?
This card's kind of cool.
I love the artwork.
Yeah,
Phenomenal art.
this card's kind of a lot cool.
I mean, especially in Torque builds.
Yeah, and it's super different.
Yes.
Than the other Clash grounds we've seen.
Yes.
And this card's really cool.
I mean, by itself, is it powerful? It's not powerful by itself, right?
It doesn't
because
allow you to draw
it's just
cards or
dealing damage,
Yeah.
right? And why is that good? It's not, right?
Synergies or being able to kill your opponent's
stuff. Yeah. Like, I think if your opponent is playing one health, defense statted stuff. Now, if he's playing Magnate, then all right, maybe he's not the greatest. But
it's not amazing.
But at that point, it doesn't matter because you're most likely building your deck to synergize around this effect, and then you're buffing your stuff off of these ping effects.
Yeah. It does, in theory, you could say it does counteract the Magnate effect.
Yes.
Of the plus
right,
HP.
Right.
So, man, this is weird because you can utilize it to really benefit yourself. But then you can also utilize it to be maybe killing your opponent's stuff or making it easier to kill your opponent's stuff. And being able to do both, it's a situational thing.
Yes.
But it also benefits you, so it's not really a situational card in terms of, I'm just hitting my opponent's alpha cards.
Right.
So, I think it's an okay card. I don't know if it's out of B tier for me.
I don't know if it is either, because again, it's specifically alphas, right? And again, if you're running red, that doesn't matter because that's all you're running in red is all the alphas. But if your opponent is not running alphas, does that? I don't think it really matters because I think the only reason you're running it is to benefit yourself.
Yeah.
Right. So if your opponent doesn't get pinged, whatever, it's really not that big of a deal.
Is the flare cards, are those alpha? I think they are.
They are alphas.
So I mean, it does kill flares, but
yes, yeah.
So it can be a little rough for you, but I mean, you're going to build your deck around being able to utilize it if you're looking to play.
And if that's the case, you're probably not playing out flare into an Antarctica,
because especially Antarctica's essentially the AoE version that you're looking for,
right? Correct.
From the flare,
correct. So there's no reason for you to use both. You're just okay. What card am I going to play for the given situation to give me that effect?
Exactly.
Right. So that being said, I mean, where'd you land on a rating for Antarctica?
I'd give it a solid B.
Yeah, I think that's right, and I think that's right, and I really do like this card, and I think this is a vehicle, a very solid vehicle for these torque strategies for sure. All right, the last card that we've got for red is Sinister San Francisco. Sinister San Francisco is a 4-cost, 2 required red resources. Again, I love this artwork. Wow. It is a San Francisco Earth Clash ground. It is a rare card and has the ability whenever an Alpha Clash card you control is dealt non-clash damage, it gets +2/+2 until end of turn.
Huh. So,
Is there a way for me to get both Antarctica and Sinister San Francisco effects in the same turn?
I don't think so.
I know.
All right. Let me take a look at this.
Yes.
So, are there any other clash grounds that might just give your stuff +2/+2 and not on the condition of deal clash damage to it? Doesn't New York do that?
Well, no. New York is give your all alphas get +2/+0 in flight.
Oh, +2/+0. Oh, okay.
Correct.
I got you.
Correct. But here's the thing, though. Okay, New York City, universal the entire board.
True.
This is only your stuff.
Yeah.
So can you imagine? But having this out when Here Comes the Boom comes down.
Mm-hmm. Here Comes Boom, and also the flare, the 6-drop flare.
Yes.
Attack. Yeah. I can see some scenarios to where this is going to really pop your board off. But
in red there's going to be a lot of them.
Yeah,
though, I think.
Yeah, I know. But it's 4 cost seems really high. But you can't it can't really compare to the 3 cost ones that are universal for the entire board. I don't know how I feel about this card.
In red torque builds, this card is very good.
Yeah.
I think in builds that care about all of that pinging, non-clash damage, it's going to be very, very good. Because again, if I'm pinging stuff, even if I have to utilize Torque the Diabolical, if you got to utilize Torque the Diabolical, I mean, you're getting an additional buff now.
Sure.
Right?
True.
But if I have to ping my opponent's stuff does not get the buff.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is a positive to this card. Okay. It's only affecting my stuff. It's only affecting my side of the board. Okay. I mean, this with that flare that you talked about.
Yeah.
You can swing in for some massive damage. That is a ridiculous amount of damage.
And it's kind of like this +2 to defense kind of negates the deal 2 damage to everything on your board from that flare. So
True. But I mean, like, again, just think about this.
Which is good.
Paired with Enrage.
Yeah.
Right? Hang on. Is dealt... Okay, no, it doesn't really work like that because I think not Enrage. I'm thinking of the one that basically says it's prevented.
Okay.
Yeah, because in that case it would be prevented.
Yeah.
So yeah, forget I said that. The combos are there. It's just the combo potential is there. It's just finding them and utilizing them. It's just how often are those going to pop? Or how often is that going to pop off?
Yeah.
Right. So that being said, I think for a rating standpoint, I would it's a solid B+, I think, only in red. Because I think in red it can get higher. Because I mean, if you think about potentially giving me 10 damage, I mean that's insanely powerful.
Yeah.
You know, and we've talked about the swings like that before. So that being said, I think settling it out would be a B+. I think no lower than a B. I wouldn't go lower than a B, but I think it could settle at a B+ for this.
Yeah, I for sure see the combo potential with it. I would want to give it a B just because like that cost is killing me, and you need to have that other stuff set up. You need to have the other cards working with it because otherwise it's 4 cost, and if you don't have the stuff, it's do nothing. Right. So
that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I would say a B. I'd say B.
That's fair. I think that's correct. I think that'd be good because again, at that point, like you said, I'm not getting a draw card. I'm getting nothing else. Yeah. It's just maybe I'm getting rid of my opponent's stuff.
Yeah.
But then it's like if my opponent drops another clash ground, then it's like I literally got nothing off of that, and then it feels really bad.
Yeah. Well, all right. I guess I shouldn't say it's like you need a lot of other stuff because bare minimum, it's you drop it, you have your creature out, and you ping it with your torque. Contender.
Right.
So then it just gets to attack higher. So
yeah,
I like a B.
Yeah, I think that's good. I can settle on a B. So that's a B for Sinister San Francisco.
Yes.
All right, and that's all we got for the red cards, guys. Cool. A lot, very very different color than the rest so far. Yeah. But Jim, I mean, as our fellow our burn player, yes. Jim, what do you think about red?
Red.
What do you think of this?
I can't wait to play red. That's all I'm gonna say. I can't wait to play this.
Yeah. Favorite card favorite card from this color so far. Which one you liking so far?
I loved Flare and I love the guy with Barrage
Machina.
Too. That dude is phenomenal.
Yeah,
but
crazy.
Flare, I can't wait to see a Flare contender if we get that. So I'm gonna put Flare up there.
All right. Flare. Yeah. So with that, we're gonna turn it over to you guys. What do you guys think? Do you agree with our assessments? Do you disagree with our assessments? Let us know down below. What did you think of Energy Blast? Who's right on Energy Blast? I mean, it's a very interesting effect. And again, having to evaluate these cards from the standpoint of other games, it's just very interesting how you approach it, how you think about it. But we want to know what you guys think. Let us know down below in the comments what you think, and let us know what your favorite card is from the color red. And before we get out here, don't forget, if you want to see more Alpha Clash content, don't forget, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification icon so you get notified when we release more Alpha content in the future. Got a couple more colors to go, and then got one more color to go, actually, I think, and then our top 10 list, and then we're gonna figure out what other Alpha Clash content we're gonna do. So leave a comment down below for future Alpha Clash content you want to see from Dan and Jim here at Hobbies and Happiness. So thanks everybody for hanging out with us, and we will catch you in the next Alpha Clash video. See you, everybody.
Take care.